Today I wanted to talk about what it's like owning a pet Savannah monitor. These babies get really bad rep for being aggressive, unable to handle, hard to manage, hard to keep. And I really don't understand why they have such bad reputation in the reptile hobby. But this is Venus. She's approximately a 10, 11 month old Savannah monitor. I rescued her. I have no information on where she came from. The only thing that I know about her first owner was that they only fed her rodents. And then she got to a point where she was unable to handle, so they gave her away. And then I took her from the person that they gave her away to. So I am her third owner in less than a year. When I got her, she was very cage aggressive because they hand fed her in her cage. They did no kind of training with her, exercise with her out of her enclosure. So now all I do is training and exercise with her out of her enclosure, and she loves it. She's harness trained, she's potty trained outside. She is handleable, manageable, way more handleable than my tegus. I wouldn't dare to put my tegus outside on the ground on a harness because they just dart out the very second that you put them down. But she has never done that. So let me just get into what it's like having her. The only way I can describe it is it's like having a pet dinosaur. It's like having an animal that's constantly outsmarting you, and they're really good at it. She has a crazy food drive. It's like a puppy begging for treats all the time. She will eat anything and everything, and that's what it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because they get fatty liver disease and they get obese very, very quick. And that was her biggest issue, was she was so obese, her stomach was dragging on the ground. It's hard to get her to like only want bugs, just bugs. So I'm still doing meat mixes of very lean protein with her, just because I'm trying to wean her off of only eating fatty rodents her entire life. Being monitors, they're a very active species. She's out basking every single day. She's destroying her cage every single day. She would love it if I took her out on walks like this every single day. So when it comes down to if this is the best pet for you or if it's a good pet for you, it's really all about what you want in an animal. Because having a monitor is like having a dog, and it's a lot of responsibility. It's not cheap, it's not easy. The biggest thing that I noticed immediately about this animal is that she was demanding my respect, and I was not able to have any kind of relationship with her at all until I gave her what she was demanding, and until we established that I respected her. So at first, I just left her alone. I let her do her thing. She did not like me. It took a long time of training. Honestly, the only thing that I could apply to working with her was Steve Irwin and how he handled crocodiles. It was the only thing that came in handy for me. So I just started with the basics. She did not like me going near her head. She tail whipped the crap out of me every chance she could get. So the first thing I started doing was working with her head. And now she leans into it like a kitty cat because she knows this means you can relax. This is our trust. This is the first thing that I trained her with. So basically I kind of just like desensitized her. Everything that she was overly sensitive about, I did excessively so I could desensitize her and make it a positive experience. Even using food like how you would train a dog works. When it comes to her husbandry, of course she needs something huge. So being a juvenile, she's in a 55-gallon tote right now. And everything, her hides and everything in her enclosure is custom because she's so big. So I had to take things from outside and build things, and she has the hottest basking spot in the entire reptile room. Her basking like surface temperature is probably like 145 degrees every single day. So that's keeping the room in general almost 90 degrees. So for most of my other reptiles, I don't even need heating equipment because her heating equipment is enough for the entire room. So maybe, you know, that's where the reptile keepers are saying that they're hard to manage. Husbandry has to be spot on. They're very destructive because they're big lizards, just like tegu. So you're always changing the water dish. You're always scooping poops. That's why I was so persistent with her being potty trained to go outside like a dog, because it was just a lot of maintenance. I wanted to change her entire substrate like once a week, and that's a lot of money for a 55-gallon tote. Let me just say more about keeping her. So yeah, food is not a problem. She eats any and everything. These are insectivores, so their main diet should be insects. So imagine how many insects it'll take to feed something like this. I'm investing in a dubia roach colony because it's the only thing I can think of that will sustain me and that will be able to help me save money so I can keep her long term. She has always been a bad shedder. Always. I bump her humidity and it just doesn't change a thing, so. But yeah, I haven't had much issues keeping her other than the initial building a bond and building a relationship with her. I think they are incredible species. The only number one thing that I said that I ran into was the respect, because these animals have a different kind of confidence than tegus. And like even taking them outside shows that difference. When you take a tegu outside and put it on the ground, it runs and finds the first place it can hide. My monitor hasn't tried to hide any time that I've taken her outside. So being that confident, they probably don't have any issue hurting you. Like, she only ever tail with me. She's never tried to bite me. Even in her worst fits when I first got her, she would just really tail with me. She would turn her whole body around, back up, and whip me. Because I didn't have her respect. They're incredibly smart lizards, and you have to respect them to keep them. Definitely are moody creatures. Like, today was a bad day. Taking her out of her enclosure was bad. Putting her harness on was bad. When I put her down, she had no hesitation in going around and exploring. Like, and then she has days where she is completely calm. So they are very moody creatures, and you have to respect that. Like owning a dinosaur, but if I could compare it to any pet, I would say it's like owning a dog that is incredibly smart and more intuitive than you. It's like owning a dog that's always outsmarting you.